Hello everybody, I am Joey from the Chart Guys. I've been a trader and technical analyst for 7 years, over 20,000 hours, and I'm here to talk about some Bitcoin, some altcoins, as we've got a key battle going on here on Bitcoin. We know that the weekly 12 EMA has been our guide for months, and here we are battling it, and here we are with bears failing to see follow through on lower lows, so there's signs that bulls are playing defense, but what do they need to do to seal the deal and call it another hold? What do bears need to do to try to change the status quo? That's what we're going to look at going in here. And the nice thing is, while it is a big battle, there's no lack of clarity. Everything's very straightforward with what we're working with now. We know that the weekly 12 EMA is our guide, as it has been for quite some time here. And we've got this key value area high from this range back in October and November 2021 before those previous all-time highs. And if we go into the daily here, we can see how reactive this zone has been, and it's just been a battle around it. And after rejecting from all-time highs, what we knew was that as long as bulls hold this value area high, then consolidation's healthy. We got the weekly 12 EMA is there as well, so there's a lot of confluence. And now we wait and see. Can bulls confirm a daily uptrend? So 1 round of lower lows without follow through from bears, 2 round of lower lows without follow through from bears. That tells us that they're exhausting a little bit, but bulls, it's one thing to play defense. You've got to get on offense if you want to start making some money. So decent bounce overnight, or let's see exactly what the timing was on that. Yeah, decent bounce overnight, and then just gave it all back in the morning and back down to battling this key value area high. So if bulls want to come out victorious on this big battle, they need to get over daily EMAs with a daily trend change. Then we'd say, all right, the status quo remains. Weekly higher low set off of the 12 EMA and a potential weekly cup and handle here. That's the bull route forward for victory. Bears want to crack down into this value area. They want to keep the downtrend going. They want to start seeing some follow through. And we'll still be looking for a weekly higher low. But if we pull back into this value area, what we'll be looking at from there is a potential weekly tightening range to the end of the summer. So if we want an exciting summer, new all-time highs, all of that, bulls got to show up here soon on Bitcoin. So let's get some shorter time frame techs. Hourly bounce underway, looking for a lower high coming into the 12 EMA. Step 1 for another hold down here will be an hourly uptrend. That would get a 4-hour bounce underway for us. Then we'd have a lot of room for a 4-hour lower high compared to 66.5K. Then got to do the same thing on the 4-hour. Then the same thing on the daily. That's the zoom out game. And you just got to start small and work out from there. One thing we could do here is draw a bit of a falling wedge. It's not the prettiest. Let's draw a little bit, see if we can get something to look half decent. Well, we'll go to the daily for it. I think that'll give us a little more. Yeah, I'm liking the daily for it. So the psychology of a wedge is just those lower lows without follow through showing some exhaustion. So we can be watching this wedge, and if weekly 12 EMA is going to hold, it's going to be a bull break out of this wedge. So that's what we got going on here with Bitcoin. If we look at Bitcoin dominance, we can see that we had a couple red days here, and that was altcoins that were smoked harder on the way down, seeing stronger bounces right now than what we are seeing in Bitcoin. And as always, anytime Ethereum has some solid relative strength and ETH BTC is going up, it's kind of tough for Bitcoin dominance to go up a lot. Like it seems like ETH BTC can make a solo move, and its waiting within the crypto space is enough to really kind of punish Bitcoin dominance. So bigger picture, nothing's really changing here until we lose weekly 12 EMA. So are bears defending the highs? They are at this point. Could be a little daily head and shoulders. And if that were to confirm, what crypto bulls would want that to be is Bitcoin dominance going down because alts are leading the way up. And really some of these alts that are 60, 70% off of their highs actually getting some solid bounces, maybe some monthly higher lows shaping up in our stronger coins like FET. So the other alternative would be this could go down, meaning that the whole space is going down and Bitcoin is going down more than peers. That's what we don't want. And then the scenarios for if Bitcoin dominance continues up, the straightforward one is just Bitcoin's holding on better than everybody else and leading the way to the upside. And the less preferred one would be the whole space is going down and alts are leading the way down. So those are always going to be the four scenarios of Bitcoin dominance up and down, and what does it actually mean for us. So let's go on to ETH, and we can see it's got some relative strength here. These lower lows certainly not seeing follow through if we compare that to Bitcoin. These, while they're still not seeing follow through, it's much more of a downhill move than ETH, which is pretty much just sideways here. So at this point, we've got bears defending 3651. So if we get daily consolidation underway from here, going to be watching for a daily inverse head and shoulders right off of the weekly 12 EMA as we look for a weekly higher low in what could also be a weekly cup and handle if bulls hold these lows here. So at this point, let's just imagine a little bit and say a daily lower high shaping up. We'd have to lose the low of yesterday, today, or the low of today, tomorrow for that to be official. But let's just say, hypothetically, that happens. Bulls would need to hold 33.51 and go back up and break 36.51. It's that simple. And what ETH bulls love to see here is that, and what I've been banging the table on, is we need to see ETH BTC come along. And you can see this relative strength that ETH has when we look at ETH BTC. That's a weekly higher low being set. If we look back at this chart, we know we haven't had a weekly uptrend since back here a year and a half ago at this point. And when you look a little bit further, we haven't even had a healthy weekly higher low form. This was a weekly higher low, but it was very deep retracement. That's a slight lower low. That's off the lows. No higher low here. No higher low here. No higher low. Or we did get a weekly higher low here, but again, very deep retracement and no weekly higher low there. No weekly higher low here. Now we got a weekly higher low. Something is a little different here. So what do bulls need to do to hammer it home? They need to confirm the weekly trend change. So more work to be done for sure, and got to get through 57.44 on ETH BTC. That would take us up and over monthly 12 EMA for the first time in ages and increase the odds that this is a yearly bull flag on ETH BTC. That's exactly what bulls want to see, but more work to be done. So we'll be watching this daily uptrend on ETH BTC to look and see if we can get through and get that weekly trend change. So at this point, everything's played out pretty much how we postulated a month or probably about a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago, with all the ETH ETF headline stuff. You know, once we kind of cooled off, we got this head and shoulders and entered weekly consolidation. The hope was that it can stay healthy in time for the next carrot to get dangled in front of us. And now, you know, they're saying like July 2nd, maybe for ETFs to start trading. And as we get more concrete information on all of that, I anticipate ETH BTC to rise as traders focus on it. And then we'll have to evaluate, you know, is this going to be a sell the news, yada, yada, that whole shtick. We're too far up from any known event because there is no known event. I mean, we know something's going to happen, but as far as timing of it, you know, you need timing on a known event to be able to have things get priced in. So we'll continue to evaluate that as it goes. But looking for ETH USD, confirm a daily inverse head and shoulders, get a weekly higher low set off the 12 EMA. Looking for ETH BTC to continue its daily uptrend and confirm the first weekly uptrend in 18 months. So that's what we've got going on there. Let's take a look around. So more names. Remember, all of these names had potential for a 2-week higher low. This is our 2-week downtrend crew. This is the names holding support. We knew as soon as these names started to fall that it would increase the odds that others would fall. And now at this point, what is that? You know, 3-1, 4-1 for 2-week downtrends confirmed versus who's still holding support. So as far as who's still holding support, Sol is still holding support, still testing this 2-week 12 EMA. 116 is the key level, and we've got to see a daily uptrend get confirmed if we're going to hold that support. So one thing that is interesting here is if we look at our 2-week downtrend crew, there's a lot of green out there. And if we look at our names still holding support, not much green. So that shows us that we do have some rotation in the space, and the names that have been holding on better are now not bouncing as much as the names who got smoked off the top some more. So bigger picture crypto space, a lot of these 2-week lower or 2-week downtrends, and we'll go to the 2-week and kind of flick through these. So DOT actually just joined, as did ETC and FTM, but we'll just click through quickly and we can see that most of these are not really seeing follow through. Only a handful are still below that 2-week support. So what the crypto bull hope is that these can lead to like quarterly higher lows or monthly higher lows on a lot of these names. Looking through though, there's still actually plenty of names that did see solid follow through. I guess it was just the top of the list where they were snapping back up above support, similar to Matic here. Actually, while we're on Matic, we'll get back to the whole 2-week downtrend thing in a second. While we're on Matic, there is reason to be interested in Matic. Quarterly equilibrium, we're testing support, solid risk to reward down here, and it's going to be very similar to Sol. Many alts have the same structure, just daily downtrend. Bitcoin has the same structure. Not many alts are like ETH, where they really put a foot in the ground. So Matic, we're right down near support. Aggressive bulls were scaling in on that dump 2 days ago. More patient bulls, maybe you want to wait and see a little more of a bounce up and look for a daily higher low, daily trend change, and that would be step one to holding this quarterly EQ. So when you're talking quarterly time frame, these things take a while to play out. Folks that have been watching the streams for a good bit, remember that we were all over this quarterly lower high on Matic. That's why we were skeptical of it in here. And, we ended up getting another leg up, made it a bit more difficult. But this was a nice example of how your larger timeframes often are running the show. And even when we got this move up, we remained skeptical of Matic because of the quarterly EQ. 60% pullback now from there. Let's see if we come back up, even just to like not even quite that far. If we go to the golden pocket, let's see if I can estimate it. We'll go 90 cents for the golden pocket. That's a 75% move. Now let's see how good my eyeball's doing today. 90 cents for the golden pocket. You love to see it. All right, so 2-week downtrends. Confirmed in a lot of names. It's not a great look for the space. Ape down into new all-time lows. Gala seeing follow through. So I kind of take back what I said in the beginning of bulls hope that these are not seeing follow through. I mean, they can still hope that, but plenty of them have already seen a lot of follow through. And we know we just have to be skeptical. Very often, the alts lead the way in the space, and there's significant weakening. So Bitcoin in a bubble is fine. ETH in a bubble is fine. Sol, RNDR, plenty of names are still fine. But when you've got the lower, like 2/3 of everything getting nuked off, it just tells us that we got to be crossing our T's and dotting our I's. Doesn't mean you can't be buying dips, but it does mean that you probably don't want to be like infinity scaling into stuff, because it's been a while since we've had a real, what will we call it, like exciting Bitcoin candle to the downside. But we just know what these things can do. 15% in one day. Obviously, that's an exceptional day back there. But got to be crossing your T's and dotting your I's as always. And that goes for the broad market as well. Anytime you have some euphoria, we just know how it ends. Is it going to end here, our tops in? Or is it going to end in the fall after the election? Is it going to end in 2026? No one knows. Anyone who tells you that they do know is, they're a little overzealous with the reality of how this game works. No one knows. The trends will tell us as it shakes out, and we will just go with that. We need to react rather than predict. Because if you predict, you're relying on needing to be right. If you react, you can be right all the time. That's how professional traders do it. There's obviously some folks that, there's many ways to play this game. And I'm not going to say that, the way that Dan plays it, the way that I play it is the only way to do it. But it's a great way to do it consistently over time and take the burden off of yourself on needing to be right. Like if you can do what Roaring Kitty did and make a bet, have conviction, and then end up being right and make millions and even touch $1 billion, obviously that's incredible and fantastic. But for every one Roaring Kitty, there's like 1 million people who have conviction in their whatever and then end up just losing it. So anyways, what do we want to look at? Let's look at FET. So FET is a beastly bounce off of the low. We know we're looking for a monthly higher low, and at this point could be the first sign of it. So what's going to be the next step? Got to confirm a daily uptrend. So we have not broken daily lower high resistance, I don't think. Nope, we got a little double top right there with it, 175.6. and 174.8. Let's go into the 4 hour. So that's just 4 hour consolidation. Stair step straight off the low. So bulls will be looking for a 4 hour higher low. We'll see if 15-minute oversold conditions can mark it. That would be the strongest look, but I don't know. It doesn't look like we're fixing to get there. This is looking like a wedge. And this is basically our protocol for finding trades. You have your task, which is looking for your 4 hour higher low, and then you zoom in and look for a tool and see what you've got there. And one of our tools is the falling wedge. So that would, if this is going to shape up the 4 hour higher low, we probably won't get 15-minute oversold. If we were to break out the bottom of this wedge, that's when we'd be looking for 15-minute oversold conditions, which would line right up with the 4 hour 12 EMA at this point. So 2 ways for this to shape up. We'll have to see what we get, but not going to forget that we need that daily trend change eventually. That would get a weekly bounce underway, and then we'd have to regain a weekly uptrend for a monthly higher low to shape up. So, we had a lot of interest in FET up here, cooled off after the move down, and it's not a daily oversold back burner, but it is monthly 12 EMA, and it's related in the AI space, which is obviously all the rage right now. So I think there's good reason to be interested in FET for a monthly higher low play. Who else is doing stuff? Turbo is having a beastly day. Where are you? So Turbo, weekly higher low, trying to shape up right off the 12 EMA. So big old daily bounce coming up into daily resistance, and similar to FET, going to need a daily uptrend eventually to talk about that weekly higher low being set with confidence. So 4 hour, nearly a stair step, popped it by a skosh there. Probably just hourly 12 EMA rider. Hourly 12 EMA riding to the heavens. So got to lose hourly 12 EMA to begin to shape up 4 hour consolidation. Got to lose 4 hour 12 EMA to begin to shape up daily consolidation. Got to get a daily uptrend to get a weekly higher low set. So Turbo is strong here. And yeah, I think that's all I'm looking at. Let's check in on RNDR just because it's still holding support. No, let's do BNB first. So BNB, we know is a bit of a red flag. Break to new all-time highs and then come right back. But we still got weekly 12 EMA, which is that's not the line I wanted to delete. Keep that one on there. So we still got weekly 12 EMA. That's been the status quo for a while. So let's see what bulls would need to do to hold it. Could be a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If that were to confirm, that'd be a weekly higher low being set off the 12 EMA. And ultimately, we're just right back into that range. So not a ton going on there. Let's see, where did RNDR go? So RNDR lost 2-week 12 EMA. So that is a weakening in the chart for sure. But we do still have bulls trying to hold 626.8 support to try to stay within a 2-week equilibrium. So like the structure of many alts, daily downtrend, daily 12 EMA resistance, can bulls confirm a daily uptrend to take a step towards a 2-week higher low shaping up? Time will tell. Time will tell. Anyone else looking cute today? Let's see what WLD's doing. So WLD, lots of follow through on the 2-week downtrend confirming. That is quarterly, nope, still quarterly stair step. That's just deeper monthly consolidation. So monthly support is 207. And if that's going to hold, need to get a weekly bounce underway from here. If we're going to get a weekly bounce underway from here, got to get a daily trend change. So it's up a lot because it's a super volatile name, but structurally it is damaged. Structurally it's damaged. Doesn't mean bulls can't show up, but typically something like this, you either want to be like an aggro bull taking a small time frame stair step into extreme conditions, trying to get risk free and let that be. Only, of course, if that's a strength of yours. Or you want to be a patient bull. Let a daily bounce play out and then say, all right, bulls are proving something. Now I'm going to look for a higher low, got a clear stop, and then see if you can't get the trend change from there. So always asking ourselves, do we want to be aggressive? Do we want to be conservative? There's no right or wrong. You just need to be in touch with what you're doing. All right. Ryan V, what up? My dude, it is quiet in here. Starting to get a few more people in, but there's like 40 people in the stream for a minute. That is a very low number of stream or viewers for us. But you can kind of see it in the price action. When this is what's going on, no one cares about crypto. But that's the kind of the juxtaposition of all of this is like when things are down, no one cares. But when things are down, that's often the time to buy. So you got to have a pattern, you got to have an edge, all of that jazz, obviously. But good risk to reward down here, looking for the weekly higher low on Bitcoin. Good risk to reward, looking for weekly higher low on ETH ahead of potential like big time fundamental, excitement with the ETF. When no one cares, it's time to care. When everyone cares, and we have 300 people in the stream, I don't know if you guys remember. We'll talk. James Nagoyan, are you in here? Are you in here? On like this day was when I gave like the first big bear talk of like, all right, the bulls are starting to get on my nerves. We know that stuff is going to shift. If you go back to the stream, what day is this? So I think it was Thursday, March 14th. And there's a ton of people in that stream, and everyone's all excited and this and that. And, that prompted the talk of like, everyone needs to have a game plan for if the show ends. It was literally the day of the top, and the complete opposite of what we've got now, where we got 72 people in here, no one cares. And, we're still up at the highs. It's not like, you want to talk about no one caring, like back in here. We had FTX and all this stuff in here, so it did create like some excitement, but in general, like, where was max? No one cares. Probably like in here. Really nobody cares, and then volatility gets you. Decent bounce. This was the 20K flush and 1K ETH flush. But yeah, can always use this stuff as a social sentiment. And you got to make sure you're honed in with that, though, because it can be easy to be like, oh, I'm going to be a contrarian. But you got to have experience and an edge if you want to try to run like a contrarian, not even run a contrarian playbook, but bring like contrarian social sentiment clues into your operation. It's easier said than done. Let's see, Star Pakro, what up, dude? Let's see, we got FET, AGIX, and Ocean will merge into one token. Is that a game or a known thing, or is that speculation? Y'all know I'm a fundamental noob. It sounds like something that is game planned. And let's see, are they all seeing this big bounce? Yeah, the charts certainly corroborate that. Not a ton of alts have this full-on V shape on the daily there. And oftentimes this is what I'll do when I'm trying to figure out like, all right, is there something behind this? Like, is this stuff linked or is it correlated? You just look at the charts and it will often tell you the story, because like you compare the structure of those three charts to like, let's just pick a rando link, much weaker daily bounce, still similar structure on the way down. I guess Sol's a better example of it, hardly bouncing on the daily, whereas FET is mooning, Ocean is mooning, and AGIX is mooning, all after confirming 2-week downtrends without follow through. Let's see, Aries Rock says BNB breakout in V shape. Maybe. Bulls got some work to do. It's just going to be that daily inverse head and shoulders, and we got relative weakness on the day here today. So now's the time to show up, because if we lose the weekly 12 EMA, then that's when we create room for a weekly lower high, potential weekly downtrend, monthly consolidation, which, many other names in the space got monthly consolidation. BNB did not. If we lose weekly 12 EMA, it will increase the odds that, just further rotation and have some money rotate out of BNB. What up, OG Itchy? Glad to see you here, brother. Thank you for the likes. If anybody else hasn't hit the like button, you can hit it. I'll send you... If you hit the like button and message me on Twitter, I'll send you like a Doge or something. 1 Doge. Surely we won't have enough likes to bankrupt me. I didn't type that right, did I? Well, look at it. Dog USDT. Dog USDT. That's a decent chart. That's kind of, it's not far off of, is it Turbo? Yeah, it's pretty similar. Pretty similar, but not the one I was thinking of. There was some recent new coin that I was thinking of. But Doge USDT, are you still holding 2-week support? Or did you join the downtrend crew? Join the downtrend crew. But definitely one of our ones snapping back up and over. All right, y'all. That's all I've got. We'll wrap it up. Thank you to the 82 people who ended up showing up. We'll see, can Bitcoin bulls get up and over daily 12 EMA to hold 2-week or weekly 12 EMA and keep the show on the road? Do bears bring us down, have us looking for a weekly tightening range into the end of the summer? Do we get more ETF news that helps us confirm a weekly uptrend on ETH BTC? I'd say the things I'm looking for the most are ETH BTC. Do we get the weekly uptrend? And can FET try to shape up a monthly higher low? And can SOL stay strong at the highs, holding 2-week support? I think those are the top 3 things. Oh, and Matic, quarterly higher low. That's what I'm looking at. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see y'all next time, probably Monday. Hope everybody has a good weekend.